nice little boppy tune in that intro to get us going. I saw you bopping a little bit
Yeah,
over there,
I'm
Keith.
bopping and weaving.
You're
Yeah,
bopping and weaving
yeah.
into Sunday over here at Laurel Park just after our first Summer Sizzler Stakes Day this past Saturday back here at Laurel. First of 3 going on. But hey, this is Sunday and we're here for Sunday. I'm Callie Francois, your host. Keith Fustel, our morning line odds maker, next to me. Keith had a little bit of a rain that we had over here. You missed it up north or wherever it is you are.
Who
but
knows?
we
Right,
had
there's a
some
park bench. I'm not going to tell you where it is where I live.
we had
Okay, but it doesn't really have much cover, but it's a nice park bench. It's comfortable.
hopefully it's got some cover, but we had a little bit of rain. I live just about 12 minutes away from the track, but had a nice sloppy sealed type of situation that you see on the track. That's what we had this morning. Things are going to be changing. Things aren't going to be changing. Keith guesses that we might get to a fast track around race number 3, but I have a little bit of a debate about that. Let's just see what happens throughout the day. So we'll see. But a nice weather that we're having. It was it was heated yesterday, and the weather's nice. It's nice, a little bit overcast. It's some good weather for some good racing. I think the horses will very much love the weather and the track today.
Yeah, moisture there. Muddy. It's getting close to good. We've got an hour until first post. We might get to fast.
That.
I think good. I definitely think we're going to get to good. If we don't get any other precipitation,
there's a chance of going to good.
There is a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, stay away. I don't want it here. Glad that we're on the turf. We stayed on the turf this afternoon. The turf was firm yesterday, man. The times were fast. I mean, both surfaces.
Both surfaces.
So a little rain on that turf, I don't think is gonna hurt it too much.
But let's kick into race number 1,
go.
claiming 25, 8 mile and 16th here on the dirt. We switch over a little bit. I just start off with Jackie the Joker with Anthony Ferrier, Sheldon Russell on top. Just reading this filly's form, just got a little bit overambitious since winning that claiming 40, and why not? Why not go for it, especially? But just running that horse over a Mountaineer, going short, that's a scratch, but had a little bit of trouble recovering from that. So the numbers have been slowly deteriorating a little bit, so let's give this filly a little bit of a chance. Put Sheldon Russell on top. Let's see what can happen with that.
Yeah, she kind of, you take away the 73 Beyer 3 races back, and she just kind of fits as one of these other horses, but I think she's going to get play. She draws inside. She's got Sheldon Russell on the return. Really not given a whole lot of chance. Last time was taken back off the pace. Wasn't going to make it up against that quality field.
Nope.
Positional speed in here. A little drop. I think she's tactical. I'll use her in the exactas. Consistency kind of wins out for me. I don't love really anybody in the first race, so I go to the 3, How Lucky.
Which is, I agree with you. I originally had How Lucky on top as well.
Yeah.
So I love the consistency. She runs within herself, even no matter where Horacio seems to put her. So, yep, I'm picking up what you're putting down on that.
Okay, yeah, she's improved since the break. A couple good races in New York. Last time out, perfect trip, shorter field. Tracked inside, factor into different kind of filly right now. For Brittany Russell has gone on and just ran a 78, blowing away a field in a Delaware other than. So How Lucky, I think, can stay close to the pace and maybe prompt and go on by. Chica Rabiosa is interesting to me. I don't see a lot of true speed.
Why not?
We're stretching out second time Sanchez Salaman, which is good. Rudy with a couple more winners yesterday with Silent Malice and Bartolino. So that's the opener. Yep. 3 to stalk and move into it. Maybe your value play to use would be Chica Rabiosa.
Chica Rabiosa for the value play.
Okay.
You heard it from Keith Fustel. Let's
Right.
get into Keith Fustel's early pick 4 that starts in race 2. Keith, how do you start in race number 2?
A little bit of a spread. I mean, Flimsy, certainly she looks like the horse to beat. Scratch the 7, Hallie B, who I was going to use. Take that one out. Take the 10 out. It's an MTO. Take out all of your alternates. That leaves me with 1, 3, 5, and 6. 4 deep in race number 2. In the third, we go 1, 4, 5. Going to stay with Haynes Fever. Every now and then he pops a big race. So with the way the barn's going, why not use the higher price as well? Race 4, Can't Buy Me Love. Elination, Trombetta position to have a good day today. He's got a lot of live runners. In race 5 with the 1 and 7, Super Stitchu and Bridge to Success. $24 for the early pick 4 ticket.
Yeah, that's a solid ticket, and
Okay.
I love that you have Elevation in there. I'm a huge fan of that filly. But
Okay.
let's dig in into race number 2, 5.5 on
Mm-hmm.
the turf for that maiden 45, and we both do land on Flimsy, your Grand Motion Hori
Mm-hmm.
Ruiz starter. We've got a video spotlight on that that's just popping up. What I love is that Rui was pretty patient with this filly.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my biggest note on him. Sensen was placed a little bit more forwardly that day and kind of just ran away with the race. But as you can see, I think Rui was just patient enough on the backside and going around that turn, starts to ask her and just wasn't able to get her, wasn't able to catch up to her. You can see she shifts in to her inside, then to her outside. She does a couple of lead changes there.
Yep.
She may have gotten a little bit tired, but that's pretty
Mm-hmm.
good for a Grand Motion first timer. And if you're going to split some hairs, maybe Rui was too patient with a first time starter. But overall, still a very nice finish for a Grand Motion winner. He's even better with his second time starters, so
Yeah.
I can see that's probably why you put her on top too.
Yeah, Graham, boy, over the last period here, it's like the last year or so, maybe 6 months. I've got a stat here, 6 for 19. It's like 32% second career starters. These horses are running. She got a little bit lost there. You know what happens with a first-time starter. You talked about the lead changes, focus, lost focus, focus again. She kept trying when Melopinini B came moving to the inside.
It
So
helped her.
I think she'll definitely benefit off of that experience. She has some speed in a race that doesn't have any real quality speed. Maybe Silver's Girl to the outside. So I think Flimsy's got to be close from the get-go. The one, Divine Fashion, caught this horse very late in debut. Another one that wasn't really tied on early, getting out a little bit, leaving the far turn, but
Just great.
really got into it late. The last eighth of a mile, she was rolling. That experience is going to help. You got Trombetta at a big price here. I think this is a sneaky long shot to rally into it. And I like the way Lady Mosler recovered from trouble last time. A big stumble at the
Right.
gate, switch leads twice during the stretch, but really finished up well.
Started
so
hammering it
yeah,
home nicely.
they're kind of my three in here.
I like that pickup on Divine Fashion, especially when she had that outside post. Now she's got an inside post. She's going to be now. There's going to be a big less chance of her getting lost over in that outside post. She's going to get a lot more channeled and just being on the rail. So I like it. I like it. I like it.
Okay.
Race number 3, claiming eight a mile here on the dirt. We've got a video spotlight on both of our top selections, which is Al Brown for Kieran McGee, Carlos Lopez. This is a different horse ever since stepping into the Kieran McGee barn, but this is the kind of horses that he does well with. You can see Al Brown, just sitting right up behind and tracking those leaders, getting comfortable, getting within himself. And like I said, I think that with the way Kieran McGee trains, that it very much fits this guy. He had a nice month break, which I do think he needed. And listen, this horse is either a take the lead or he just gets shifted outside, which is what we see right here. He just takes command. And again, I think this is where we get a bright and shiny Kieran McGee second time out.
Yeah, played the claiming game just the way you're doing it, the way you should do it. Kieran's done it year in and year out with success. Claim it, gets down, finds a condition race, and man, Al Brown really relaxed and handled a couple challenges in that race with ease. Responded when asked top of the stretch, and look at this, kind of with a little bit left in the tank.
He
Not
is,
like a really fast running time, but the way he did it kind of says to me, hey, I can kind of handle this bump back up. This is almost a step sideways when you're looking at the field.
Yes.
You know, the claiming price is an open 8. It's not your standard open 8 today. Al Brown should be comfortable again up front. I don't know if he's going to have to work as hard up front. We'll find out.
I don't think he will
Yeah.
either. I mean, he didn't work too hard. He made easy work of it last time, and I think that he was so fresh, and I think that was it. You give these horses, these hard-knocking horses, at these lower levels, a little bit of time to recover, and mentally they just step up. So we both have Camp Pendleton underneath,
Okay.
we're just coming off of a win, just coming back into that spot. We're back at the mile for him, which is what I like. We got Rudy Sanchez-Solomon, who's just hot right now with his runners, whether if they're not winning, they're running well. And we got Charlie Marquez on top. Charlie Marquez having a nice day yesterday. And that last trip really says it all. He was able to handle that inside position. And if they find themselves in that position again, that's really the only possible trouble that could happen for this guy.
Yeah, off of a top figure last time. Higher price, Rudy Sanchez-Solomon. Camp Pendleton last time at 4-1. Beat the dropper. 5-star Phil was dropping down precipitously.
Yep.
And, just relaxed. Got a good trip. Sat inside, stalked, tipped out to the outside, and cruised up to take command. Right back. Should be tough in here. Hard to separate the 2 in my opinion. Albert Brown seems to have a little bit more positional speed, might get the jump. Uh,
Haynes
Haynes
Fever.
Fever,
Let's talk. Tell me
yeah,
about Haynes
you
Fever
know,
because I
three.
have him underneath, and I understand because he throws in a good race every now and then. So take it away.
Yeah, he's bounced back off of really dull efforts in the past. Now he's got 3 in a row. Maybe it was the muddy, sloppy surface, sealed surface he
Sure.
doesn't like anymore.
Sure.
Lia Pastina has teamed up with Rudy and scored at some prices. He used to have some speed. This guy, I want to see him into the race early and might stay around. Mama, I got this with the blinkers on for Amy Cortez. Another one, would like to see a little bit of a pace battle up front.
Into it. Just
we'll
get the
settle
horse
and
in.
try to rally into it.
Yeah, just get the horse in the race. That's half the battle, especially with some of these. Race number 4, allowance optional, claiming 55 6 furlongs on the turf. But before that, I've got a pick 6 ticket that starts this race, and here is how I tap into that pick 6. I start off with the 1, the 3, and the 7 in this race. Don't Let Sweet Fool You, Whispering Kitten, and Ellen Nation. Just some top fillies coming into this race. This turns out to be a wonderful race coming up. Race number 5, I go 1, 5, 7. Race number 6 is where I go wide with the 2, the 4, and the 5. Race number 7, I dig down into the 2, the 3, and the 7. I single in on race 8 on the 5, and in our nightcap, I go with the 3, the 7, and the 8 for a $64.80 ticket. A little bit cheaper than I had previous days. So is that better for you, Keith?
I'm already broke, so it doesn't matter. I can't play your ticket. No. We'll take a look. We might have to dabble a little bit. There's a good carryover, right? Is it like 19,000?
It was 19,400 at before the last race.
Yeah. So
last time out. So we've got a good. Yeah,
yeah.
It starts race 4. So get ready, race 4 for that pick 6 carryover. But let's start off with. We've got a video on the 1. Don't Let Sweet Fool You. So we can dig into that right away.
Okay.
Perfect. So what I love about Don't Let Sweet Fool You is that Lacey Gardette gave this horse an opportunity to try the turf, to see if she would like it because she had an opportunity to get an easy lead there, to see if she would like it. She did. Then they take her short on that turf, and she perked up. And that last time out, she logically shortened her up well. But she had an outside post. I love the inside post for this filly. She can handle that inside post. She can handle getting there. Once horses get to her, that's when she does kind of tug it in a little bit. But you can tell that she actually loved going on that turf.
The key for her today is the horse outside of her, Matitude, who took a ton of odd play. I don't know how she ended up favored on June the 5th in that race. That was her turf debut. Bet down the favoritism against some really proven turf sprinting females, and she got in a lot of trouble. She moved up to the inside, looked like she wanted to entertain the pace of Don't Let Sweet Fool You.
Yep.
Horacio had to check, steady, drops back, made another little resurgence along the rail mid-stretch and just couldn't quite sustain. So now she draws outside. She showed that burst. She's going to keep, I think, Don't Let Sweet Fool You company up front. But in these 6 furlong turf races, we're on the outer course. I'm not looking for that deep closer, I can tell you that. Maybe that grinder type that can get within range.
And that is, yeah.
So I go with Ellenation. I've got Trumbetta in the exact here. Ellenation, a bigger price. She's won at the 6 furlong distance before. Came back off of a break from October to early June. Had a little bit of trouble early. You see the short comment, sharp, steady, and it's kind of steadily closed in. I think she's going to be a little bit more tuned up here. She comes into the race off of a good work.
Right.
Value here holds for Ella Nation in a shorter field. She should be able to avoid some trouble. The other Trombetta horse, Can't Buy Me Love, is going to be a much shorter price. Lynch goes there. So Carrasco kind of switches off Ella Nation. Interesting. I didn't think Carrasco did anything wrong last time. Prompted the pace. Did a little bit more of the dirty work in that race and came back again. So I think she's going to let things develop between the 1 and the 5, and she'll bring maybe a little bit better punch. This is a good race, a shorter field, some talented fillies and mares sprinting on the turf. Epic Idea, I think, is going to like the 6 furlongs. She's turning back off of that last race. It was kind of, I did not expect that poor of a performance. I think she's going to bring a little bit of a run too. So
she'll come
back
with Epic Idea when you run fillies like that who like going short. Granted, she's not the lead type, but when they go short and they make that effort and they're like, oh, I've got another half mile to go, they just tend to get discouraged really easily, especially with a filly. So I could absolutely see that happening with Epic Idea, which is why I'm giving her you and I are giving her another chance underneath Ella Nation. Absolutely. She was super sharp and ready to go out of the gate right away which Victor Carrasco did not expect from that filly. So she
Yeah.
took a little bit of wrestling. It was a little bit of a conversation between this filly and Victor Carrasco, just to get her tucked to the inside to avoid having her giving up everything right away, because that is how she's won. She hasn't won that way in the past, but she ran well through the rails. She just got tired, got out finished. So we're giving her that second time out. And if you go back in her form, it does take this filly a couple of races to get going before she gives you a really, really nice finish.
Well,
So,
Whispering Kitten.
yes.
That's your top pick.
That
though,
is my
right?
top pick. We didn't even get to my top
That's
pick.
what
Let's
I
get
wanted.
to,
I'm
let's
going to
get
give
to
you
my,
30
let's get to-
seconds. Go
okay,
ahead.
30 seconds. I'll try to make it 20. She's now getting into a groove third after the layoff, which Mike Merriman has been doing an excellent job with these turf horses, getting them geared up right off the get-go. They usually need a couple. He's got them really going really well. And first thing I noticed, that this filly just needs to be within reach or at the top of the stretch. She's not one of those horses that runs down the rest of the field on the front side. So you may not have seen it, but this is how I see it, where we see the two Matitude, Don't Let Sweet Fool You Go, and I see Whispering Kitten just joining in and with Can't Buy Love and just sitting right there.
I think you're right. I think they all move kind of maybe past the 3/16 coming to the 8th pole.
Yep.
This very well could be a blanket finish. There's not much
I think it will.
splitting these horses. So yeah, let's go.
Definitely.
Can we go to the 5th?
We're on the 5th main
All right,
special
let's go.
weight, 6 furlongs on the dirt. We've got a stat on your top selection, the number 7 Bridge to Success. For Mikey Juralis, Danny Centeno, Mark Lapidus they go well in the past 5 years on the dirt. They've been 4 for 11, that's 36%, and 8 for 11 in the money first off of that claim. What a nice return on invest.
Yeah, and Mike's been doing great all along, and he and Lapidus they've done well for quite a long time. And their horses they move up, they hold form. Bridge to Success, yeah, he went in for 40,000 last time. Given a little freshening, comes back with a couple works on the dirt. The debut was good. I thought that was pretty good. A little rally into a kind of a speed day. Boss Man JJ, When I Get to Heaven. Okay, horses. Boss Man JJ has won a couple races. I think topped out at a 70 When I Got to Heaven. Came back to win on the turf with a good figure. There is some speed in here. The one I think will be present from the inside comes out of a quick race at Delaware. Those internals were just off of some really good starter allowance horses that day. Just couldn't quite make it up. I think he's a stayer around for quite a while. The horse I can't really figure is the 5 No Angel for Dale Cap. You've got the horse in the mix, but I think Bridge to Success is going to be able to drop in, save a little bit, and rally into this flow today.
Listen, Bridge to Success, you have to, I'm not totally regarding that last race going long on the turf. We're going back to that form of maiden 25 and just upping the game on it. So with a couple of these sharp works, this horse may pop out of that gate a little bit, the gelding, may pop out of that gate a little bit better and just be put in a better position. Has the outside position, a lot of breathing room, could go any which way, but I'm going to tank back to No Angel because you have a lot of questions about that horse. And this is a super C racing move of claiming horses from the Midwest and Kentucky and bringing them back here and kind of adjusting this. He does it with they do it with Anthony Ferrier as well. Looking at that Keeneland race, lost out to Cornbread Hill, who hasn't done much since breaking his maiden in that score for Wesley Ward. But then I'm going to the second horse that was in second winter pool, won a New York State 50 allowance, starter allowance, and a regular allowance, open allowance at Aqueduct this spring. Carmel Crush had a great season running second, finally breaking his maiden at Fairgrounds this January. How this horse's style fits into this race is the other big question. And that's so you see Carlos Lopez on this horse. There's no question Carlos is going to send this horse out of the gate, and so we'll see how this horse's style adjusts to Carlos's riding style, or we could just see this horse doesn't love to give pressure. So I see this horse, what is ideal for this horse is that Keeneland run where he was sitting just a little bit off of it and maybe has just a little bit of that slow burn turn of foot to be able to do his own thing down the front side. But it's in Carlos's hands, and we all know what he's going to do. He's going to send this horse out of the gate, and it might just take this horse a race of adjusting to that front running style to go from there. But which is why I have him underneath.
All right, and just a real quick note on the 4, Dominguez. Mark Schumann, Richard Hackerman. Hackerman with the winner the other day with Damon. A little bit just a protect move. I thought, this is a Maryland bred. We're going maiden special weight. Works don't really kind of grab your eye, and it's an unraced mare, first foal. And you're like, so It might have a little talent. Just a protect move. Interesting here. Second dam did, I think was a 4-time winner. Ran well in debut is my note if I can read my handwriting. So maybe a little price, maybe something down the road. Follow this horse off the debut, but
I mean,
I'm going for Lapidus off the claim.
There we go. There we go.
All right.
There we go. All right, race number 6. Before we get into race number 6, excuse me, let's cut to a quick commercial.
I like making them all look pretty, like little models. A lot of these horses need to be clipped for exercise, so obviously it goes hand in hand with training, but I like to make them look good and feel good as they can get. They definitely cheer me up. Going in and having a little special date with each one. They all have their good personalities and they're happy to get their haircuts.
Tara, extraordinary clipper, and also getting on horses for Ferris Allen in the morning. She does do a wonderful clip job, working hard both in the mornings and the afternoon. But let's kick it off to race number 6 without allowance optional, claiming 45.5 back here on the turf. We both have Momos on top, but let's cut into that video on the number 4, Just Wave and Smile for Dale Capuano, Jean Novello on top. And overall, what a climb this gelding has been taking. Just coming, he started out at the claiming 16 and claiming 25 and claiming 12.5, bumping this horse up to the allowance of number 1, number 2, and here we are. This horse is off the place. There's going to be plenty of pace for this guy to run into today. And what I like is that this horse has had 2 successful rail runs, as we can see on the screen, and just makes a nice little popping finish of it.
Yeah, the key is he going to get that clear run again? And here he might. I mean, He's got good positional speed. He kind of gets within range and has a good finish the last 3/16 of a mile.
That's what counts in these races.
And moving into kind of the right field. These 2 other ones are tough. He catches a field where, it may not be the strongest 2 other than when you really, really break it down. So in form, and he's holding form on the turf, which is gonna be tough to leave out of your exactas and trifectas. Just Wave and Smile a shorter price. I go to Momos, a horse for Trombetta here. Now 4th back off of a break, maybe finally racing back into shape. I thought the race at Delaware on the dirt was good. We saw Defend run okay.
Ran okay.
The race at Monmouth caught my eye though. Hung out wide around the turn into a pretty good pace. Dropped in and finished with interest.
Yep.
Just a little move forward off of that. I don't know if he's going to get back to what he was, but looking at the field, again, from a speed, from a pace setup factor, he's got to be forward in here. I don't see him, very far off, if not on the lead when they turn for home.
Right, exactly. That reasonable day. It's reasonable in that debut. They came up tough. I like that this horse is in the Mid-Atlantic. We're back here. Mike has been taking this horse a little bit of a different Belmont, Woodbine. This horse has had some miles on him, and now we're kind of settling back down into the Mid-Atlantic, where I think this horse just has a proper spot. So again, this is. In that race with Defend, he was in the 3-way speed duel and took back and just resurged, and I thought had a great battle after that, as you mentioned. So lost on the nose for second, and he is the need the lead type, but that last race can prove that he can battle even if he's not in front. So this horse is going to be giving a nice finish no matter what. The 2, Love You Much, Ferris Allen had to throw this horse in here. Very consistent. I have her underneath just because she's so consistent underneath. Finds a tough field today, but still a consistency over Flash. Why not? Definitely keep her in.
Pretty good group there. I thought last time out a little extra ground, so I'm going to throw that one in the mix as well. I had some bad information. I got my Hackermans mixed up in the prior race, so my apologies.
That's all good.
To any Hackerman out there.
That's all right.
There you go. We're going off to the 7?
Yeah, race number 7, allowance of 6 furlongs on the turf again. We've got a video spotlight on both the 3 and the 7, Sue Loves Barbados and Prince Pear. A lot going on here. This is the first time, this is a 2022 debut for Sue Loves Barbados. Prince Pear has had as well as, back here at Laurel, Prince Pear has been running a little bit, but a lot going on in this race. Yeah,
that was the Just Wave and Smile again. Prince Pear, now we can highlight in the yellow cap, just kind of stymied, caught behind rivals from the top of the stretch. Sue Loves Barbados had to clear a run to the outside to make this run, and we talked about, hey, if Just Wave and Smile is going to be tough here in a 2 other than these 2 right back in the A other than should be just fine. Maybe Sulos Barbados at 3/4 might bring a little bit better finish. You saw that there. Might
I agree.
relish a little bit of extra ground, but I like a price horse in here. The one, Kobe Tough. This is coming back to the turf again.
Right.
Third off of a layoff, going 6 furlongs. This horse on the go back ran right behind Radical Right at 2. Radical Right has gone on to run well
Yes.
and run well in 2 other thens. You see out of a good race on
At Delaware.
Preakness weekend as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyhow, Kobe Tough, 2 races back, trouble at the break, uncaptured spirit pretty quick, gone, and then bumped around. Come
Right.
back off the break, second off the break. Swung widest by faders and actually had a little trouble late, was finishing up well. You had Jose Ortiz from the rail, on a big day.
Right.
These riders come in. I'm not a fan of that.
I get that. I
when
completely
the name
understand.
riders come in and ride for local
They'll give a ride
outfits
around.
and a big day, it's just something. I'm not going to go any further, and it's just an angle that I kind of stay away from. And Kobe Tough showed some good grit late. He's got speed. He's a reported first-time gelding.
Yes.
Not a slew of speed in here. I want to see this horse aggressively ridden, get into position. I think he stays the trip here today at a price.
Well, let's see if Javier Toledo can do that on the rail out of the gate right away for what this horse needs, because that is what this horse needs, and we have, he knows how to win on this horse. So we're just, there are a lot of big questions and asks. It's nice that he has had a nice work on the turf over at Laurel. I'm just going to circle back to Prince Perry real quick. I thought that was such a tough trip last time out, and just got lucky. Humphrey was looking for a spot. I actually thought he rode a fine race, just got unlucky. Caramanos doesn't guarantee anything as far as a good trip, because this horse has been haunted with trouble lately. I just love, as long as this horse can get a nice go at 3-1. I think he's going to come up a little bit higher in price once the gates open. But fun, tough race. The number 2, my top selection by the Seashore for Trombetta. I just explain it. Looking at that last race, it was a stunning finish in between horses, and in between that, this horse has that grit to be able to go that 6 furlongs like you talk about. And he also does typically well a little bit off the layoff. He has a little bit of time, and I'm comparing that September and October last year campaign where he ran a couple of nice goes in between, just 2 in a row. So this horse has the ability to do that.
Yeah, he's become like kind of a deeper closer. 6 furlongs worries me a little bit. I talked about that. Want him to be within a couple lengths, maybe no more than 2 or 3 as they pass mid-stretch and go to the second wire. Bartolino came back, ran big. He's got some good numbers on the go back. But Kobe Tough.
Tough.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's see if Kobe Tough can
All
get.
right.
Kobe Tough's got to get on top, but let's see if that can be done. 5.5 on the dirt for race number 8. Going for the claiming 40. We both end up on Cozy's Wildcat. Easy enough. Just looking at, this is a Gonzalez Angel Cruz combination who's pretty serious. What I like is that the ship, when these horses that typically come from Monmouth to Maryland, as of late, so the last 22 starts, 7 wins, 5 seconds, 4 thirds. That's a 32% win clip. Yeah, that's a dangerous win clip. So going at it from that, and then I like that this horse also has had a work at Monmouth. But excuse me, that was prior to the win. But again, it need the lead type. Let's see if Angel Cruz will fit this horse just fine. The last time he was on him, it just wasn't able to happen on that sloppy track. So we'll see if this horse likes this track as well.
Gets a little relief with the scratch of the 3, right?
Yes.
Concrete Glory is out. It was really, really fast early. Cozy's Wildcat's shown the ability. Made a couple moves. A few races back. Up with the pace, kind of eased back, came again. I think the key for the rider, Cruz, is not maybe get sandwiched in between horses with some speed to the inside. If anybody else sends, maybe it's a Lantow. Free Square is going to be forcing the issue. Mr. Mock's back on his game last time. Will be lurking. He'll be able to drop in, save a little bit of ground. I like the finish that he brought, a claim for 62.5. Showed that life last time out in for the 40-day Detroit. Cozy's Wildcat, I think, is going to just kind of attend the pace, and try to separate by the time they hit the top of the stretch. Things get really heated. Jonas Kern has got races on the page that work. This might be a little bit of a reach. You go back, though, back in April, Golden Eye, those kind of horses, Lantow, 3 for 3 in the money at a 5.5.
That's
confident moving back up. I think he does rally into this.
Yeah, definitely. Jonas Kern. Let's get into the 9th race, that maiden claiming 20. going along on the turf, mile and 16th on the turf. We both land on the number 7, Like an Eagle, obvious horse to go to for Noah Abramson. William Humphrey coming back off of that nice go. We can see just William just kind of really taking his time, and it's nice to see a horse really coming off of the pace with a nice go, going that mile and an eighth, was able to finish up really nicely.
Yeah, hung out about 4 wide, leaving the far turn. And watch this move. My question is, does he just kind of move a little too soon, a little too fast?
A little bit, yes.
Yeah, that was the key to me, and I think just took a little starch out of him. There's Please Marry Me, who's back, who handled a challenge, and then a little bit of a fade late. But take nothing away from the effort. Like an Eagle ran well. I just need him to be a little bit more patient, save a little bit more ground.
Sure.
And I think that's going to enhance the run. We got a little less ground to cover today in a mile and 16th. Back for that mile and eighth in this effort. It's a good try, though.
Here's the thing.
I think this horse works today. Foxtrot Seville draws in off the AEs. The 11 for Trombetta, going to be a very short price. Gets Forest. Certainly will make the run from the back of the pack. Had some trouble a couple races back. So.
I did miss that,
did?
but I
Okay.
did.
Well, you can change it.
I will, and I can
All
change
right.
it. That's my prerogative. I can change it.
Yep.
But going back to Like an Eagle, he does. Yes, that was a little bit of an early move, but I wouldn't be the type to put this horse in the mix in a crowd in traffic. I don't. He seems to be that big burly-esque type, even though he might not be that big. But the way he moves, he just seems to be a little bit heavy. Where he might need that wide trip to maybe go around and not be able to get cute and get through a bunch of traffic, because it hasn't worked for him in the past. But hey, with that. We've got that AE who's coming in that's going to be taking a lot, so we might just track on into him. Amaretto Sour, being able, that horse might be pushed a little bit more forwardly. I could see Johan Rosado doing that with this guy, especially after that last finish. And Please Marry Me, I like this filly. This filly is your pacemaker. I like her on the lead. That's where she's going to be comfortable. Yeah. She's a type that needs a couple of races, especially first time on the turf, mile and eighth. Might need another race on the turf to make that speed solidified.
Yep. Took a couple challenges there, just the slightest of fade, a little shortening up for the 3, Please Marry Me. But, yeah, as chart callers, the one thing we hate, well, we're watching it, ground loss is huge.
Right.
Unless the track is playing to the outside, if you've got a distinct bias, that does happen sometimes.
Yeah.
Even in turf races, horses kind of get lost out there. You need a clean trip from maybe the quarter pole home, but till then, you got to try to save as much ground, I think, as possible. And the way the race develops is sometimes forces the rider's hands. So it's not always their fault.
It isn't always, no. So you have to look at these races individual by individual. Let's get on to lightning round and talk about a couple more individuals. Well, we've got a nice show that Toledo came to happen, just popped by back in Maryland and came back, won a stake for Brittany Russell on Hybrid Eclipse in the Cesar's Wish. But what I love is that Hybrid Eclipse didn't get the lead right away. Took at least an eighth of a mile for him to get in that position, while Rui on the motion horse on the outside was just getting dragged along. And now we see where things start to get interesting, to see if the motion horse kind of starts to take over. Hybrid Eclipse had an answer for that. And then we had a little question for Toledo, who was going back and forth. Winning jockey Javian Toledo on Hybrid Eclipse in the Caesar's Wish for Brittany Russell, but this wasn't the only stakes race that you won for Brittany Russell today, winning earlier in Delaware. Who drove you, first of all, to come over here to Laurel from Delaware?
Myself and God that protect me. First than anything, I want to say thanks God, thanks Brittany for the opportunity, and the owner, Magis Oaks, and the Cabillo stable. To be honest, I was going to break forward. They let me go in front, I take their lead. If somebody wants to go, I start behind. But, I break, nobody wants to go. So, I went, and the outside horse kind of stayed away from me, never really put me pressure. So that kind of worked out pretty good. Yeah, when I asked her in the stretch, coming to the quarter pole, she was kind of even. And when I asked her in the stretch, she switched lead, and she just took off. And I feel the 8 horse right there, but in the last part, my filly just keep going. It looked like his horse kind of stop a little bit, and my filly just get the job done.
I love it. I love it. I remember watching earlier in the day just watching earlier that Delaware race that he won, and then I see him in the paddock here, and I absolutely love that move of going two places at once, and that's what I love about the Mid-Atlantic. But nice win for White. That I do. I love that you can ride a couple different tracks in one day. That's what I love about the Mid-Atlantic. A lot of options for a lot of people, but nice win for Toledo and Russell. Let's see them do it again. But wasn't the only stakes winner. We had Charlie Marquez have a nice day yesterday. Got two, but I love this in Homestead. Now Charlie gave a nice interview, but he was really excited about this horse when we were hanging out in the winner's circle, and he previously rode Defend in his maiden, so he knew what he was dealing with on his inside. And you can see him just look over really quick and knew that he had to make the decision of trying to see what he was going to do outside of Defend, and he decided to give Defend a little bit of head and intimidate him a little bit, force the other jock to bring him back, and just all the class of the speed here, all the class today. It was a big speed duel that we were talking about, and that certainly happened, but we certainly got our answer of who was coming out on top. Nice horse from Brinkman.
Yeah, Old Homestead, rated very kindly for Charlie, just outside of Scaramouche, very quick in his own right, coming in from Parks, and you see him trying to travel to the lead just under a light hole, letting it out just a little bit, takes a peek behind, measuring any kind of competition. Defend, under rating hole loomed pretty large here, just kind of jock trying to fighting him a little bit there to the quarter pole. Lets it out here. Charlie kind of the knockout punch, separates by about 2.5 in mid-stretch, but here's where he starts to get a little bit weary, as we say. But he picks it back up. I tell you, tough effort. Look at the internals. 22 and 3, 45, 4, 9 and change, 22 and 3 when it's all said and done. Enough left in the tank. Great job there, Charlie, and a good job by the trainer as well.
Brinkman, yeah.
Brent Brinkman. Yeah, and I like that horse. Was a Preakness wet day, Preakness weekend. Just kind of was against it, 3 wide out there. That inside was pretty good. This is a nice sprinter right here. And I thought the runner-up, Nimitz Class, ran big after the stumble at the break, rallied into it quite well. So that was a good effort.
Definitely. Let's kick on to your best bet, Keith. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but let's get back to the best bet. What do you got?
Yeah, we'll play the percentages here with Mark Lapidus and Mike Girales off the claim in race 5 with Bridge to Success. So hopefully this one can kind of rebound off of that turf effort, given a little time. The works look positive leading into this race, rallies into the speed. Value play, we're going to go to race 7 with Kobe Tuff. We talked about all the different factors there over the last 2 in return. We've got a fresh horse, a first-time gelded reporting. I want to see this guy up on the lead. He's shown speed in the past. I think he shows it today.
Yeah, let's see if Toledo was able to get a horse on the inside up to the lead earlier yesterday. Let's see if he can do it again today. Dave Rodman coming in with your changes and scratches.
All right, good luck, everybody.